Let's get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Bruce.
How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Doing great. How are you doing?
Doing really good. Thanks. Exciting stuff. Tom, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of a improvement in interest rates coming up ahead. It looks like inflation is starting to come down a little bit. We'll talk about that maybe next week. Let's just see how the rest of this week fares out.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were asking me about clients that just don't have a credit score. And I wanted to talk to you about a program that I've got at CrossCountry Mortgage that can help folks if one of the borrowers does not have any credit. Now, no credit is different than bad credit, right? So
Right.
in the past, if you did not have a credit score, you could not get a mortgage. So there was no way for you to use your income. But I'm making a change in that. So I put together a non-traditional credit program when two people are wishing to purchase a property. So I want you to think this through, and all of you listening to this, pay attention because you might know somebody that falls in to one of these categories. So we have a couple. Let's just call them Tom and Jane, okay? Jane's got decent credit and she's got income. Tom's got good income, but he doesn't have any credit. Nothing shows up on the credit score, right? Now, if Jane that has credit has more than 50% of the combined income, I don't need anything from Tom. He has no credit. I need his income, of course, but I don't have to have any sorts of credit for him at all. He doesn't have any.
Okay.
Now, if Tom's income is greater than Jane's income and he's the one that doesn't have a score, then all I need from him are two forms of alternative types of credit. So maybe you pay your rent on time. I need 12 months to prove that you pay your rent on time. A gym membership, maybe your auto insurance, maybe your cell phone bill, but 12 months, Tom, and I can help that couple get into a home.
So 12 months of rent on time. Now, how do I prove that?
Well, you're going to have to go to your landlord and you're going to have them write a letter. And better still is to prove that it's cleared your bank account. Now, people that don't have credit and don't have a bank account are at a huge disadvantage, Tom. I'm going to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because a landlord could write any letter you wanted to. I don't know if it's legit or not. And our underwriters don't know if it's legit or not. But if you're paying it by check, credit card, cashier's check, and you can show that that's been paid in a timely manner for 12 months, then that's fine. Now,
What if
if
I'm
you're
paying
paying
by
auto
what if I'm paying
insurance,
by Venmo?
well, Venmo's difficult to determine because we don't know where the money came from, but generally Venmo can work if it's tied to your bank account because like I use Venmo all the time,
Sure.
but it's still tied to my bank account. I fill up Venmo with my bank account and then when I receive money, it goes back into my bank account. So it
Gotcha.
can be done.
I know because I know a lot of Gen Z is like big on Venmo, right? They use it for everything. So.
Well, I'm just telling you that there's people out there that don't have credit, and now I'm giving you an alternative. All you have to do is pick up the phone and give us a call, and we can help you with that.
That's
And
great. One of the things that I found, and I've found this a lot in talking to a lot of young people that because I mean, there's a lot of scuttlebutt, right, about housing being difficult and affordability, and there's a lot of truth to it, right? It is harder to afford a home these days, but I think some of it gets to people, and it gets to feel so impossible that they just don't even try.
yeah,
And I think investigating some of these alternatives would really help a lot of people. Um, but they've got to ask. They've got to be willing to ask and learn. And the internet can be a double-edged sword on that, because there's great information and there's also tons of misinformation.
oh, there's tons of misinformation, but nothing really worthwhile is easy to do anyway. So, yes, maybe getting a mortgage may be a little bit more challenging than not having a mortgage. But you and I both know that even renting right now, they're going to pull credit and they're getting, since there's a shortage of rental properties, they can be pickier on who they want to rent their properties, right? But I'll tell you what's really difficult. At the end of the day, you want money when you get ready to retire. You want money to go do something. And most of us that have money made money with a property, that you made money in real estate. And it's easy to think, it's just easier for me to rent, but you're giving your landlord money every single month and it's doing absolutely nothing for you. So there is no such thing as a rich renter. I've never met one before.
Yeah, I mean, and again, going back to the misinformation thing, you see guys like Elon Musk or Grant Cardone that says, don't own a house to live in it. Well, they're billionaires, right? So I think I think the rules are a little different for them because they make all their money in commercial real estate, and it doesn't matter how much money they waste on rent.
I agree. I agree. And even, there are financial advisors that, say, don't get a mortgage, pay cash. You listen, that's easy to say when you're sitting in way up here, you're flying at 30,000 feet. But
Hmm.
I will tell you something in my job, I look at people's financials every day. I mean, that's just what I do. Right.
Yeah.
The people that have the most money are not always the people that make the most money. They're the people that have real estate. And if you own real estate, you will end up ahead of the game. There's only been a few times in our entire lifetime that real estate has gone down. And if you waited it out, it came back up.
Hey, I bought my house, the house that I live in right now, the house that I'm sitting in. I bought it in August of 2007. That was probably the worst month you could have bought a house in the last 20 years. And, I'm still ahead. I was
Of
behind for a
course
long
you are.
time.
Now, the biggest mistake I made is not buying more property between 2008 and 2015.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
We would be in a whole lot different financial position. So, a couple other things. Today, all the new loan level pricing adjustments come out with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They will make it easier for people with more down and higher credit. It'll make it more difficult and more expensive for people that don't fit into that echelon box. Unfortunately, I don't understand it. I know that they're trying to mitigate risk, but they're making it more and more challenging for the lower end buyer.
It
I,
seems to be a split focus. It's almost like we want to help people, but we don't want to help people, and we want to help certain people, and we want to help everybody. And I think there's a lot of confusion really in the
yeah.
whole, like, how do
Well,
we
there's
manage this
hypocrisy
market?
too. The government saying, "Oh, we need to do what we can to make property more affordable." Yet, on the other hand, they're going wink and a nod. By the way, we're going to make it more challenging for you because we're going to raise the credit score requirements. We're going to make it so basically, if you don't have perfect credit and money down, it's going to be more challenging to get a loan. And
Yeah.
that's just
And
the way things are going.
I think there's some health to that in the market overall, right? Because you don't want to have a bunch of defaults down the road like we did in '08 through '10, but
Yeah, but
or
you know
through
what?
2010.
Something I hear that, but the fact of the matter is, Tom, is right now, I believe that underwriting is already prudent. Okay. And
Good.
prudent is fair. Prudent means I've got to document your income and you've got to provide that for me. I've got to make sure it's consistent and reliable. You have to have some decent credit. All right. And you've got to have a little skin in the game. So if you have those three factors, you can buy a home.
Yep.
And if
So
you
hey,
don't fall into one of those categories, you call me and I'll help you get to that point.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and that goes back to my thing that I was saying about looking at the misinformation that's out there, right? Is that's great that you can go out and look on the internet and get some information and figure some stuff out, but people really need to talk to professionals. You were able to help one of my potential buyers the other day, where she has very low income, good credit score, a lot of cash, but wants to buy a house that she technically can't afford, right? But you got super creative with taking some, instead of putting all the money down, taking the cash and setting it aside in a trust and creating an income stream so that she could qualify. I mean, that,
Well, yeah,
and that kind of stuff. I've never heard of that before, right? And I wouldn't have known that was available if so now I do, but how many other things don't I
yep.
know?
So what we do there is we will be able to convert an asset into income. And
Hmm.
if you've got clients out there that have high assets but low income, come to me. I save people every day from that. And in this case, this client, if they hadn't received that settlement, they would not have been able to do it. Okay.
Right.
But they had a
Right.
settlement. And
Yep.
you know what? If you have a settlement and you have a bunch of money, don't go buy a Boston Whaler and a Harley Davidson and all those extra things. Put it into real estate and it'll change your life. Believe me, the Boston Whaler is not going to make a difference 10 years down the road.
Nope.
Believe me, it won't. But buying a home will. And this way, this lady is parking that money into something that will truly gain her more and more wealth.
Absolutely, absolutely. The good news is she was smart and saved it, didn't blow it all on things that she didn't need, and now we're going to help her get into a home. So,
Yep. Yep.
Bruce, it's been great talking to you, man. Gotta run, but you have a great week.
Next week, you want to talk about APR versus interest rate. We can cover that as well.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that this week, but I'm out of time, man. I gotta go.
See you, buddy. Have a
All right,
good
my
week.
friend. Later.